Deer can do a number on your plants, whether it's flowers, trees, or bushes. Whatever they can reach, they will eat. What is a homesteader to do? Hello, my name is Deb from Just Do Something Homestead, and today we're going to talk about how to keep deer out of your yard. And this is actually the grass that is growing in our yard. I had hoped to do some mowing, but we are not at that point yet. Another thing our yard is full of is deer. And today I am going to work on some ways to keep the deer out of the yard. The yard itself has a 4-foot fence that is in very poor condition, but I have watched the deer just jump over this without even giving a bat of an eye. So how do you keep the deer out of your yard? First thing first, the deer and I need to come to an agreement. This is where they can be. But from this point forward, my lawn is off limits. So how do I keep the deer out of my flower beds? I plant flowers that they won't eat. Deer really do not like marigolds, zinnias, or milkweed, which is butterfly weed, or daffodils. If you have those things planted in your yard, they may come in and take a chomp off a piece, but honestly, if you plant them in your yard, they're not going to go out of their way to come in and eat them. Here are some other pictures of flowers that deer do not like. It's a great idea to plant things in your yard that the deer don't like, but it's also a great idea to not plant the things that they love. If you plant any of the following, it's going to draw the deer into your yard. This is a strawberry plant. Deer love strawberries, so don't plant your strawberries in the yard. Put them where you have a very tall fence in your garden. Other plants that deer absolutely love are tulips, roses, hostas, and azaleas. But how else can I keep deer from eating my flowers? I update the fencing and make it taller. I add trail cameras and find out where they're entering my yard and where are they going once they're in it. I clean out our hairbrushes and spread the hair along the fence. And lastly, I make soap socks, and I'm going to show you how to make those right now. I'm going to make 3 soap socks today, and these socks, as you can guess, has soap in them, and you hang them on the perimeter fence of your yard. So even if your fence isn't 8 feet tall, the scent from these socks when it rains is going to wash down, and the deer are not going to want to cross over into your yard. You're going to want to start with an original clean Irish Spring. If I have some old used knee highs, I use those, but honestly, I haven't worn them in so long, I didn't have any. So I went to the store and I bought knee highs, and they are nude 6 pairs. So that means there are 12 in there. So that's going to last me a little bit. You're going to take your soap out of the box and slip it into this knee high. You have to be careful, just like putting knee highs on. You don't want to stretch it or it could rip it. So very carefully put it into the knee high. All right, I slipped it into the bottom where the toes go, knee high, and it just leaves, the rest of it hanging off of there. I'm going to tie a knot right there. And there you have it. That is a soap sock. So you're going to tie this off of your fence, and that, as I said, when it rains, it's going to get the soap wet and it's going to leave the scent in the area. So spread them around your fence. The closer the better, but obviously you have a huge yard. You can't put out 50 bars of soap. I'm going to show you another way to use the Irish Spring bar of soap. And this time you're going to use a grater. So you are going to run this through the grater and it'll make the little shreds of soap, which will fill in the bottom of my container. Then you take that and you spread it along the ground where your fence is. Not necessarily where you're growing your flowers or things, but along the border or the perimeter of your yard. And just like that, keep shredding it until you're almost to the bottom of the soap. You don't want to get your fingers in there. 1 bar of soap goes a very long way. So this is just 1 bar of Irish Spring. And I can take that outside and spread it around the perimeter of my yard. Another great deer deterrent is your dog. Let them walk around the perimeter of your yard. That will leave their scent and it will scare off the deer. I've hung up my first soap sock and I am anxious to see if the deer start slowing down, start avoiding my yard before the spring flowers come up. Some other deer deterrents include things such as motion activated sprinklers or lights, or spraying deer deterrent around the perimeter of your property. Just make sure that they are safe for other animals and your plants. If you have tried all of these things and the deer are still in your yard day and night, the only alternative you may have is to put a 7 or 8 foot fence with an electric line on the top. But I'm hoping these are some ideas that can help you without having to go to that extreme. If you enjoyed this video on how to keep deer out of your yard, please like, subscribe, and share. And thank you so much for joining us today. Bye-bye.